All right, folks. So when you get to a point where you have drawn all of your features on your drawing, you've gotten rid of your points, you're getting things in a really good spot, you're going to want to start dealing with layouts. I'm going to take you over. So we have model space here, which is where we draw. We also have layout space where we can see our map and we can modify things like a north arrow, a scale bar. I do recommend to draw your legend in layout space. It might make things easier. You don't have to. You can draw your legend in your working space. As a reminder, if you still have your image behind, but you want to turn that off, right? You can go over here and you can turn off your image so that just the information you have generated is shown. If I go to layout, the same is true. I already have a viewport here. I can show you how to do that. If you do not have one that has appeared, that is totally fine. In this case, stay tuned for another video. If you already have a viewport here, that's totally fine. You're going to zoom in so that you can see everything that you have drawn in this viewport. You can double click inside there to activate, and then to zoom and unzoom, you can use your mouse. You can pan in here, and then to escape out of this viewport, you are going to double click outside of it. So I am now outside of the viewport. If I want to go back into the viewport, I can double click to go inside, double click to go outside. I'm going to show you how to XREF a title block. And the first thing that you would need to do is to download your existing title block. In this case, I have downloaded an example. It's in my downloads folder. I'm going to grab it, copy it, and paste it again to my project 2 folder, just so that I have it as a reference. We are going to do something today that is called XREFing. If you, once you've downloaded your title block and moved it to that folder, you are able to XREF. And we are going to type that in, EXREF. XREFs are files that we can append to Civil 3D that come in essentially as images. We can't modify them. They are just treated as images. So this is something to keep in mind. If your title block is drawn in white text, you're going to want to modify that. You can open up your title block and change the colors in here. So for instance, I could go to start, I could go to open, go to my desktop, my project 2 folder, and open that title block. And in this scenario, I'm going to close that down. I can select everything here. And as a reminder, right in your layer properties, you can change that color to anything you want. I'm going to leave it as a dark blue because I think that makes it look nice. You could change things in here. If you have things entered, you might want to delete them first. So make sure your title block is in the state that you want it to show up in your map. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to close it down, and I'm going to go back to my layout space. So I'm going to type XREF, and that pops up the little XREF menu. We have already XREF'd. Well, I just docked that, which I didn't want to do, but that's fine. We have already XREF'd something in. We have already XREF'd that image in. So in this scenario, we already have an XREF. To add another, our title block, we're going to click here and say attach DWG. And you're going to navigate to your desktop, your project 2 folder, and your title block and say open. And my recommendation in this scenario is to say specify on screen for both the insertion point and scale. It's a little finicky, but you can modify it after it comes in. So I'm going to say okay here. And then I am going to scroll out a little bit. It's a little finicky, it's a little jumpy. So I want to specify the insertion point at the bottom left corner. And then by moving my mouse slightly, right, I can bring it in here. And if you don't like this, if this makes you not so happy, you can always change it. In this case, I have brought this entire image in. I can still go to the home menu and I can still scale this. So if I'm specifying this as the base point, I actually think in some ways this scale feature is a little bit easier. And I can scale it up a little bit more. I can still do things in this space. So if I want to fill some of this in, right, I can still specify my height. Let's give it 2, rotation angle of 0. That's fine. Oh, way too big, but that's okay. Let's try that one more time. 0. And you can enter your text in here as you like. You can still do all of that in layout space. Make sure you are saving early and often. You can also change what your viewport is focused on by, again, double clicking in there, zooming, and then double clicking outside. So you can control what the viewport sees. If you want to change the actual size of your viewport, you have the ability to do that as well. All right, you have now a way to bring in your XREF information and to start finalizing the appearance of your title block. And as a reminder, you can draw your legend in layout space or in model space. Finally, I want to point out some things from here, right? We have a north arrow. You can add your north arrow on here. We have a scale bar. You can add your scale bar on here. Work together with your team to figure out these functions and to bring them all in. All right, good luck. Have fun.